Philip.
Hello, Wes.
Oh my gosh, it's another week.
It is. How are you, babe?
I'm great. How are you?
I've never looked better.
We matched today.
We do not.
I thought we both had blue on.
I'm in Concord purple,
Never
and you're in a
mind.
tacky blue. So,
TJ Moi.
yes.
TJ Maxx. What do we have going on today?
Well, as you know, you and I live here in Nashville, Tennessee.
It is home to my favorite candy bar.
The Heath Bar.
No, the Goo Goo Cluster.
Goo Goo Cluster.
And it's and we have a gorgeous replica of the Parthenon straight from Greece.
Yes. Also home to Nashville's hot chicken. And if you don't know this, some of the chicken is served so hot you have to sign a waiver before eating it. It's also home to hundreds of rooftop bars.
And everyone knows what Nashville's really known for.
Good old country music. Which brings us to our guest today. He is an up-and-coming country music artist with a brand new single that I'm obsessed with called Disco Cowboy, which is the title track of his forthcoming album releasing this fall.
He also happens to be part of the LGBT community, and the video to his new single premiered on CMT last week.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Two Bottles Deep studio. It's Adam Mack.
Hey there, good looking. I've been catching how you're looking over. That guilty smile, turn away before you lose composure. Afraid your friends, so you just won't understand. But that don't make you less of a man. Meet me outside and see you never had a thought like this. Your hands are shaking as you try to light my cigarette. Walk down this alley, take a dive if you dare. Do you feel the thrill in the air? Let's go to the disco cowboy.
Woo!
Wow,
The crowd is on their feet.
They are lit. Woo!
Adam,
That was probably our longest intro, but
I am
rightfully so.
obsessed with that song.
It is so good.
Well, thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you for having me. I would not
Yes.
want to be anywhere else on a Saturday morning than right here.
I
Yes.
love it. I
Right
love
and
it.
early, you came in hot.
I did.
We never know how people are going to show up, and then it's like, boom, you were all
I'm kind of
love it.
loud from the
He
jump.
was ready to go.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, first of all, we're going to get to know you a little bit. We're going to jump right in. Tell me your first memory as a child.
Well, first memory as a child, like music related, or
Oh, no, the very first, like crib.
honestly, I don't really have a lot. Maybe it's like trauma suppression or
All right.
something, but I don't have a lot of childhood memories. Early childhood memories. I have friends who are like, "Yeah, I remember like 3-year-old things." I'm like, how though? I don't. So yeah, I don't really know what my first childhood memory is.
He's like,
but
in
I
high
do-
school, we
Right.
had prom.
Because mine's like fourth grade.
Really?
Like, I don't remember any.
Okay, because
yeah.
I'm like, I remember like kindergarten, but like there was a jungle gym. I remember that was
Yes,
cool.
love the jungle
So
gym.
maybe that's my first memory. The
And
jungle
what about
gym, it's a good
first
one.
memory with music? Like,
Okay, yeah, so that's a little easier. My mom used to bribe me with Beanie Babies to sing at church when I was like 5 years old. So that is my first music memory. Is my mom being like, "I will take you to the store and buy you whatever Beanie Babies you want.
If you
Will
sing
get
this
up there and
hymn."
sing and make me look good." I'm like, "Okay,
I'll
Mom,
do it."
anything for that new Beanie Baby." So
You had to get up on set. What denomination?
Baptist,
Oh, okay.
Southern.
So you're really.
Yes.
Did you have the choir behind you and their dresses?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
would have been
honestly.
fun.
Dresses.
Or robes.
Robes.
Rose.
whatever.
Okay. It's a dress.
Right. They're all in dresses.
What was your first job?
My first job was Taco Bell
Yes.
at 15 years old.
Living.
They have the cheesy
Taco Bell
gordita
pizza,
crunch.
huh?
I can roll the hell out of a burrito.
Ooh.
Swear.
Yeah.
Swear. It's like one of the only things that my boyfriend Lee keeps me around for. It's like one of the things I'm good at is rolling.
I was devastated when they got rid of the or the Mexican pizza.
But I heard there was
It's
a
back.
rumor.
It's back.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I tweeted
No
them,
rumors.
and I think I'm responsible for it, honestly.
So everyone,
You have me to
welcome.
thank.
That
Yes.
2 bottles deep guy is on their tail.
Right.
And they brought
I
it
said,
back.
bring it back.
I said sure.
Yeah.
The cheesy gordita crunch.
Yes.
Has the sauce
Classic.
in it.
What if we just spent the whole hour talking about the menu?
I could.
The number 4.
I actually could.
All right.
Let's just rank all of our favorite.
I could do
combos
it.
that-
I could do
Adam
it.
also does music, but
Yeah.
we're really here to
Yeah,
talk
we're
about
here to talk about burritos.
Yes, it's what the people want.
What was your first, what music did you like growing up?
So it was kind of all over the place. My mom was super obsessed with Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson, but also like Shania Twain and Faith Hill.
So you had a good range.
Yeah. So it was like a lot of Motown, a lot of like 80s pop music mixed in with like 90s country. So yeah, and then as I kind of got older and kind of decided like what I liked, it was somewhere between the Spice Girls and yeah, honestly,
Love it.
Yeah, like the Spice Girls and the Judds. That's a good like bookend for me, and then I'm somewhere in between.
Oh, I love it.
You mentioned 90s country. What's like your go-to 90s country song?
So I don't know if it was released in the 90s exactly because time is irrelevant in my brain, but Neon Moon
Yes.
is like kind of my go-to karaoke song.
Have you heard Casey Musgrave's new version
Yes.
of it?
Oh, I haven't.
Love.
Good.
Oh, it's
It's
so
phenomenal.
cool. Just kind of trippy and just very Casey, but also then you have Brooks and Dunn on it.
And very slow, but you can't not listen.
I gotta listen to that one.
Philip, do you want to share your favorite karaoke
Oh,
song?
Grundy County Auction.
She's the
through.
I mean,
Can you do a part?
Well, I went down to the Grundy County auction. What I usually do, Adam, is I get on stage and pretend to be British, and I'll get up there and I'll be like, "Hello, this is my first time in America. I'm actually very nervous. I hope
No,
you
you
give me a
don't.
chance." And I'm, well, I went down to the Grundy County auction. They're like, "Oh my God!"
Do you really do that?
Yeah, every time. Yeah. You would think that would get old. They're like, "Philip, do your thing. Let's do this."
We're at Wannabes downtown, and they know to follow it up with Garth
I bring a
Brooks,
tip bucket up now.
Friends
Just,
in Low Places.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we know that you were gay. So tell me about when you first realized you were different. How old were you?
For me, it was pretty young, honestly. Probably 6, 7 years old. I was obsessed with the Red Power Ranger, like a little too obsessed with the Red Power Ranger, like. Whereas I knew, like, oh, I don't think the other boys like the Red Power Ranger as much as I do. So shout out to Jason, the Red Power Ranger.
Yes.
Thank you for pulling me out of the closet at 6 years old.
I love that. And so how was coming out for you? When did you do it?
So I didn't come out until I moved to Nashville, which was in 2012, and I was 22 years old. So I was kind of late in the game on that, but I was also from a really small town in Kentucky, and like I said, a very Southern Baptist upbringing. So I never really felt comfortable coming out until I moved out of Russellville into Nashville. So when I came out, it did kind of feel like I shouldn't have waited, because for the most part, all of my really close friends from home were all just like, yeah, and
Right.
like, that's not a big deal. Whereas in my brain, I had built it up to be something that was going to just be catastrophic. And for some people it is. So you just don't ever know. And like, my mom didn't really take it super well at first. But she was so quick to come around. It was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before she was like, yeah, like so quick to come around. And now she will literally beat anybody down who has anything slanted to say to me. She is like Russellville's #1 ally.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
It has been great.
Sidebar on that: is she still involved with the church?
No. So, not really. No, she is kind of just religious in her own, which kind of I feel the same way. You know what I mean? Like, I have my own beliefs and my own spirituality, and I don't need to like be a part of a congregation to feel that.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, she's perfect.
Good. I love it.
So I read an interview you did where you talked about a friend's death and how that was kind of the impetus for you to do songwriting.
Yep, for sure.
Can you kind of explain what happened and how that inspired you?
Yeah. So in high school, my very best friend passed away just out of the blue, honestly. We were 18 years old. It was a week before our senior graduation. And the end all was just that it was she had went into cardiac arrest, and that's how she passed away. And there was never really any other explanation or any kind of like closure there. And also, like, in retrospect, 18 is like so young to experience something like that. So I think just like naturally I needed to put those feelings somewhere. And I had always kind of had a knack for just like writing short stories and poems and things like that. And I had always loved singing. So it kind of just felt like the only way to go was to just like write a song about it. And so that's what I did, and that was like the first song that I wrote. I couldn't tell you what the song is today. Have really no recollection. As I told you, I have a terrible memory. But that was like the catalyst for like what kind of shifted my direction and my path in life. And from that point, I knew that was like the only thing I could do. You know.
Well, go ahead, Wes.
Well, I was going to say, did you sing or perform before that? Other than maybe church, right? But
so church early. I did some like school talent shows and stuff, but honestly, Russellville is a sports town. Like most small towns, sports have the town by the throat. Right. And that's really the only thing that matters. So there wasn't really a huge arts program or music program. We really didn't have even like a choir in my high school growing up. But what they did have was like once a semester or something like that, they would have a talent show at the school. And so I performed in the talent shows. But other than that, when I was like 16 or 17, my mom started taking me to voice lessons. So really that was the only kind of outlet that I had to kind of cultivate what it was that I wanted to do. But otherwise, there was really no place for me in that town.
Were you playing instruments at this point?
Nope. So when my friend passed away, I wrote that song and pretty quickly was like, okay, well, I have to learn how to play the guitar because nobody else is going to do this for me. So I got a guitar and just like taught myself how to play just so that I could like write songs.
All right, so I know you were on American Idol.
I was a couple times.
Twice. Yes.
Twice. Once before I was out of the closet.
Yes.
Once
after. Yeah, there was 2000.
2011.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried to find the video, by the way, on YouTube.
They've like erased it.
I was going to surprise you, but I was like, let's watch it now. So tell me about that experience. Because I was obsessed with American Idol. We would have watch parties. I mean, it was like all in.
Like Carrie Underwood that season really just like also fueled my love of country music, which that was like 2004. Yeah. So I was just like in high school and just kind of discovering a real love for singing. And Carrie Underwood was on American Idol, and that was just like, she was just
amazing.
The end all for me. So yeah, the first time that I auditioned, I was 21 years old. I did not live in Nashville, and my mom and I drove to Baton Rouge for the auditions. And that was a wild experience. I had never experienced anything like that before. The judges back then were Keith Urban, Randy Jackson, Mariah Carey, and Nicki Minaj. So that was like the one season where they had
I loved that season too because they had so much drama.
Wild. Yeah.
And you were in front of them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And honestly, it's hard to even, it was like 12 years ago. But to like be in front of Mariah Carey, who was just like literally the voice of so many generations at this point.
She has that Christmas song.
Yeah.
You know.
Sing it, Wes.
All I want for Christmas is you.
That's not singing.
That's more of the radio voice.
That's how he sings. Don't judge him.
That's what I do. I'm at a club. I'm like, all I want for Christmas is you. It's our country version, Mariah.
So how did that audition go? What was the...
So I was a nervous wreck. I was 21. I was so uncomfortable with who I was and just trying to figure out.
Pre-gay.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Were you trying to mask up?
Kind of.
But isn't there different judges before the main judges?
Yes.
You have to audition, then you're on the TV slot.
So that was what I had to do. I think it was 2 different auditions before I actually got to audition for the judges. And I was a nervous wreck. I sang a Brooks and Dunn song, Believe. And I got
a good one.
Nicki Minaj is the only person who said no to me.
She didn't believe.
She doesn't like Brooks
She
and Dunn.
did not believe, baby.
I'm going to delete all of her music on my phone.
No,
right now.
don't.
Okay, I won't. Kidding.
No, because she probably saw in me that like I was hiding something,
Right.
and she was picking up on that, and it was just probably just didn't seem authentic because it wasn't. And so no hard feelings to Nikki. Hopefully one day we'll meet and I'll be like, remember that time when you said that I was a piece of shit? No, I'm just kidding. She didn't say that. But yeah, so that was fine. I got 3 yeses and 1 no from Nikki, and went to Hollywood, and that was my first time.
The golden ticket.
Yeah, I got my golden ticket. It was the first time that I had been on a plane.
Wow.
So it was like, yeah, just a whirlwind of something I was not ready for.
Yeah.
But in a way, it did kind of give me a little bit of a push and a jolt, because in between the time of it airing and I'm trying to remember. No, I think I had just moved to Nashville when I had to fly out to Hollywood. So then I came back from the show, and I got cut the first round of Hollywood Week, and came back and was just, I think it did kind of energize me to be like, okay, I'm new to town. I'm in Nashville. I just got a little taste of like confirmation, or just like some praise, to a push in the right direction that made me feel like something that I had never received before, to be like, oh yeah, okay, it's not just my mom who thinks I'm a good singer. Which is also really important.
Very important.
But yeah, so that kind of like kicked me in the right direction. And then flash forward to 2018, I think. 2018. They actually reached out to me on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And I know. I was like, oh,
wait a minute.
Whoa, special. No, so they reached out to me on Instagram and asked me to come in for like a private audition with like the producers. And it had a call time, so like I didn't have to like wait in any lines. I literally just showed up at my time downtown in Nashville at the Hutton Hotel or something like that. Walked in, did my audition, got my yes, and the next place I had to go was to New York City, and that was like no other auditions, straight to the judges, and that was in front of Luke Bryan, Katy Perry, and Lionel Richie. Which was a totally different game, because at that point I had been in Nashville for 6 years. I really had kind of found my groove a little bit, was way more comfortable with who I was personally, to be able to go in there confidently and knowing like what I have to offer. And not to mention, Katy Perry is like legit the coolest celebrity I've ever met in my life. She
seems like it. Yeah.
Exactly what you see is exactly what you get, whether the cameras are rolling or not. And I could not be more obsessed with her after that experience. I already loved her music, but you never know until you like meet your heroes if it's going to be bad or good. And it was so good. Same with Lionel and Luke. They were all just super cool. And Lionel Richie is just like the wealth, the knowledge that is inside of that man is just endless. And we were all so lucky anytime that he would just like have a sidebar chat with us. We were just like, wow. Oh my God, we're learning from the master right now. So that audition was really great. I sang an original song, Black and White, which I think is the one you like, right? So I sang Black and White, and I also sang Either Way by Chris Stapleton. And they all 3 said yes. Katy Perry called me her like big gay rhinestone like cowboy or something like that, and I was like, Yeah, put that on my tombstone. Okay?
Did they bring that up in the filming about your sexuality?
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that's important because it gives representation. How
Yeah.
many people may have seen you on there and now have the confidence to go
Absolutely.
to their local talent show or whatever?
Absolutely.
Representation is so important. So I'm
Yes.
glad they brought that up.
Yes.
And
Yes, it was-
and it was a different experience because you're older, you've been here
Yes.
longer.
Well,
you're
and
more
things have also
comfortable.
changed a lot from
life.
2012 to 2018. Just culturally, there was such a drastic difference in like
Marriage equality.
yes, had I come out and been open in 2011, it might not have been received the same way as it was in 2018. So yeah, it was super great. I went to Hollywood. I made it to like the last round of Hollywood Week and got cut, and then all my friends got to go to Hawaii for the top 40, and I was and they were there on my birthday. It was a really fun time for me.
Have you kept those relationships from both seasons?
Absolutely, yes. So some people that I was friends with on the first season, I'm certainly still friends with now. And a lot of the people that I was just on this season with, I'm still friends with. And a lot of them actually live in Nashville, which was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Or if they didn't live in Nashville, they moved to Nashville after the show. So it's been kind of nice to have we kind of have shared trauma from the show.
You know, Miranda Lambert didn't win Nashville Star, and look at her.
Yeah.
I don't even know who won the year
Right,
she won.
right.
And it's
And she's-
people move here, they're inspired, and they say it's a 10-year town. You're on year 10
right now.
right now.
Right now.
Who won the seasons that you were on?
So
You
the
remember?
my first season I was on, Candace Glover was the winner.
Yep.
And which is really unfortunate that the season got overshadowed by all of the Mariah and Nikki drama because Candace Glover is amazing.
Interesting.
She's incredible, but she just kind of got overshadowed by all the dramatics. And then the most recent season I was on, Lane Hardy was the winner of that season. So yeah, it was all around good experiences. I don't know that I would do it again. I hope that I don't have to, because as exhilarating and exciting as it is, there's also a lot of stress and a lot of just like craziness that goes
I
on
bet.
behind the scenes that is not really the best for your mental state, to be in a pressure cooking environment where you're just like feel like you have to compare yourself to all of these other people. It's just not a good scene for me to be in.
Well, I want to talk about, I know Wes's favorite song,
Yeah.
Black and white.
Black and White. Can we play just a little bit of it first?
Let's
Yeah,
play
yeah,
and then
yeah.
talk about
Yeah,
it.
let's do this.
Ooh, yes. Oh,
Tell me about tomorrow. Tell me that it's all gonna be okay. Tell me how love will always conquer hate. Tell me how the right ain't left and the left ain't right. We're all good people trying to get by. You can lie. Tell me I'm right. Just don't tell me who to love. Don't tell me who to hate. Don't tell me we're a generation that came all this way to give up the fight. Who didn't use the light to magnify that fine gray line between black and white.
that is so amazing. How would you classify your music?
Like genre-wise,
Genre.
you know, I am currently trying not to do that because I love so many things about so many different genres that I don't want to feel like I have to like fit in this place
Right.
or this place, because I don't honestly feel like I necessarily fit in any of those places just solely. So I don't really want to classify as like country music, because I know there are a ton of country music fans who would be like, wow, it's not country music.
Right.
But like I'm sorry.
No, I love that
I
answer
was
because I was
so-
trying to explain that to somebody. They were asking about your music, and I'm
Yeah.
like, every song I listen to, I'm like, well, this is a little funk, this is a little bluesy, this is a little. So I love the fact that you encapsulate.
Well, it's a journey too. I feel like I can look at my catalog over the past 10 years of things that I've released and see the growth and the journey, and I want to feel like I'm always growing and evolving, and my music is never feels like it's the same. I know that some people would say like, well, then you what's your thing? What if you don't fit into any of these, then where do you fit in? But for me, I just want to create music that I love, that I believe in, and that is authentically me, and whatever that falls into, there it goes.
For this song specifically, Black and White, tell me why did you write it?
Yeah. So I wrote it the night before Donald Trump was inaugurated as president.
2017.
And I was feeling just very scared, very overwhelmed. It just felt like tomorrow was like very unknown. Like I feel like a lot of us felt like, well, what does this mean for us? Like just scared and not sure. So that's literally the opening line is tell me about tomorrow. Like is it all going to be okay? You know what I mean? And everything just felt so divided. And I come from a place where that is probably predominantly a red county, and I still have loving relationships with people. So it's hard. It was hard for me to believe that this one moment and situation could be so divisive of people who I know and love, and they love me, and we do have like fundamental differences, but like we can't let that be what like ends us. You know what I mean? So that was where the song started, and I wrote it in maybe like 20 minutes, just like crying.
Wow.
You wrote that
Yeah.
in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
When you write that, do you hear the music or are you just laying words down at that point?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's always starts with the feeling for me. And when that particular feeling comes, I know that that's the inspiration that I'm like, oh, grab my shit, grab my guitar and my pen, and let's like jot this down. So yeah, I just started like picking that little guitar part, and I knew the feeling that I was having about the situation, and I just started writing, and I started writing from the first verse and just kept going until the song was done.
Wow.
I love that it can be a current day song too. Like it applies in so many
I'm so
different.
glad you said that, because I just said that to somebody else in an interview. Like, it's so wild that song was so like specifically relevant when I wrote it at that time. But even now, even like in the summer of 2020, it felt even more relevant then, and then now, like it's just constantly evolving with the times, and it never ceases to spread the same message of just like love. Let's just like love each other, you know?
In that line, I may be down, but I ain't lost hope. You know, it's so fitting.
Yeah.
And that's the power of music. There could be a song written in the 60s, 50s, whatever, and then someone records it now. We're like, wow, it's a great new song. But that's been in a book on Music Row for 80 years,
Truly,
you know, and that's what I love about music.
Same.
What's your reception? And I love the comment about genre. And I was a little nervous to ask that because I'm like, I feel our whole life growing up, we all grew up gay in small towns, conservative areas, conservative families, and I didn't want to fit into a box. I'm like, well, that's not me, and that's not me. It may be part of our community, and okay, but I'm like, when I asked you that, I'm like, God, what's he gonna say? Because I love that. I'm like, it's kind of like Stapleton. It's soul, it's rock, it's classic rock, it's country, but it's like life's a journey. And as a fan, we evolve. I've evolved with Reba all these years, and Brooks and Dunn, and sometimes you don't like people's new stuff, but it's a journey. And Pam Tillis was just on T.G. Shepherd's show the other day.
Oh, really?
And she was, isn't it great? She is just, so she was talking about the current day, and he's like, what do you think about social media? And her answer was, it's great. We get to research the towns we're going to. And she's like, I wish I had Wikipedia back in the day.
Right.
So we can, she's like, a lot of these towns are small. I would know what the industry is and what the people do and what they're like.
Right.
And so she had such a positive spin on it, rather than being that star from the 80s and 90s. Her dad's in the Hall of Fame, I believe, and being like, I hate new stuff. So your answer was great about evolving and not fitting in a box.
Yes.
And I feel we try to take that away. What's your reception been in Nashville?
It has been, so, I mean, like I said, I've been here 10 years. So in the beginning, it was just really overwhelming for a lot of reasons. Like, I was coming out of the closet. I was trying to figure out what kind of human I was, much less what kind of artist I was. I had no idea what this town was about. But I think that really in the past, let's say 2 to 5 years, I've really kind of like hit my stride and figured out what is good for me. And in turn, the love that I received from that has been like overwhelming. You know what I mean? Of course, there are always going to be haters, and there are going to be people who I could write the best song and it goes straight to number one, but they're not going to like it based on who I am, and that's not my problem.
Right.
That's their problem. So I try not to look into the comments and read comments on other pages. Mostly my page is all love, all support, all gravy, but yeah, I'm sure the other, like the CMT publications and things like that, I'm sure there were people who had things to say, and good for them.
It's their problem.
It's their problem.
Let them have the problem.
Amen.
Because I'm happy. And
And I can tell too.
I'm living great. So
Amen.
Well, you have an album coming out very soon.
I do. I don't have a date for it yet, but we have been in the studio recording nonstop all year long. I've got another single on the horizon, but right now we're just still kind of riding Disco Cowboy.
Can we talk about Disco Cowboy for a minute?
Oh, yeah.
I love this, and I love the video with it too.
Thank you.
That
Oh, my
looked like so
gosh.
much fun filming
So
it.
much fun.
And that was filmed here.
Yeah,
at
the Dive Motel.
Motel.
Have you been?
Yes, I love that place.
Love.
What a great video.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Thank
too
you.
because I got this like Elton John vibe with it. I
Sunglasses.
love the outfits.
Yes.
And I was watching the background people too. Like, what are they wearing?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody understood the assignment.
It was perfect. Perfect. I want everybody to go get on YouTube and watch this. But one of my questions was, I've listened to it so many times. One of the lines, "Let's go to the Disco Cowboy." So I was like, does this mean let's go to the Disco Cowboy? Or is it let's go to the bar named Disco Cowboy? Or could it be either?
Yes.
All of it.
Yes. Both. All.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
when I first was doing it, I was going, let's go to the Disco Cowboy. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, no one's there. And I was wishful
It was
thinking.
his mirror in his bathroom.
You're talking to yourself.
But then I was like Googling the bar. Is there a Disco Cowboy bar that he's talking about?
No, that one day, like when the first gay bar on Broadway.
Yeah.
be your
Could you do that, please?
Cowboy.
Brand.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, I wrote it with both of those things in mind.
Okay.
I love anything that's a little clever and can be interpreted different ways. I think it makes sense for Disco, Cowboy, but it also makes sense to be going to a place called the Disco Cowboy.
Yes.
Can you put that one next to John Rich's Redneck Riviera? That'd be great. You got pride flags and then the Confederate flag. Let's bridge the gap.
I love that. So what did you have the idea? Was the Disco Cowboy like the idea and then you worked around it?
Yep. So sometimes things come to me and I'm like, oh, I have to write this right now. And sometimes it's just a word or a phrase, and that's all that comes to me, and I'm like, oh, I'll just write this down and I'll take it into a session with somebody and we'll see what comes of it. And I had a first write with a now friend of mine, AJ Smith. He's a pop singer in town, and I went to his house. He had a home studio, and I told him that I had this idea. I didn't really know where it was going or what it was exactly about. And he's also a straight ally. And so just the fact that we wrote this very gay song together just shows like his character and what kind of person he is, because he had like no hesitations, no doubts to like go there with me on it. And it could not have turned out better. I told him when we came in, I was like, I really want just like think Dua Lipa, that heavy bass line, just something that immediately has the groove that you're wanting to dance to. And he played that, what is the bass line now. And we just put that on loop and wrote the song like, just like that.
Yeah.
And it just turned into this like self-love, self-discovery, semi kind of like back alley cruisy situation.
I want it to be a remix of it. I want there to be like the dance remix in the club with 4 minutes intro.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I know this one. This is mine. Let me do this.
Yeah, that may be on the horizon.
Please.
I don't know for sure. Yes, I want that too.
Yeah. If you do that, could I be in the video, please? I'd like to be.
We'll just film it at Play Dance Bar.
Perfect.
Do it.
I love it.
Yeah, the new dance club there.
Oh.
That's a good scene there. You have a line. You don't have to hide how you're looking at me. I love that because we all resonate with that. We were all in the closet and at a bar, and it's just such a catchy song, but the lyrics are so amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, the image was being on Broadway, you who you are, noticing somebody else who's like you but is not strong enough or comfortable enough to fully jump over the ledge. And that's kind of that intro of the song, and then you're kind of pulling it out, pulling it out of them and being like, well, then let's go to the disco. You know, that's a place where you can be who you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me in a fraternity house. After a few drinks, we're like, nope, can't do it.
Go to the
Don't want
disco,
beat up
cowboy.
today.
Please, no hate crimes.
Right.
No discos in Macomb, Illinois. Shocker.
The other song, are we good on time? Because
We are great on time.
The other song that I'm obsessed with, I wanted people to hear it too, because I think it shows just the variety that you have.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna play
is
you.
it?
You're gonna know this, of course. Oh, that's not this.
That's a Dateline intro.
This is the remix too.
You're about to be murdered.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Heaven help my mama tonight.
Just want to like smoke a cigarette.
It
or
is.
something.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Let's have a stogie.
Yeah.
It's so just like
Nasty.
Heaven help children who can't find shelter and can't find any food. Heaven help all need, they need somebody to. And heaven help what my heart is going through. And heaven help the fool.
I've already staged this in my head, like how I want the live show to be. I think your voice, it's so many different levels and layers to it. I love that because it's it's so raw, but it
Soulful.
yes,
Yeah.
it just
gritty.
literally the first time I heard it, I was sitting there again by myself. Like I'm like, what are you doing, Philip? Just like, are you grinding on a
headphones
chair?
yes, as you should be.
Yes.
I love that you picked those 3 songs because I love all 3 of those songs. Those are 3 of my favorite songs that I've ever written. I wrote that with my buddy Matt Bell, and again, he had that just like that guitar. Something about a good like guitar lick will just send me into creative overdrive. And yeah, that song is exactly what you said. That's exactly what I wanted people to get from it. Just like soulful and gritty and kind of grimy. And it shows a different side of my voice. That's just a little more leans into like the more Stapleton vibe of my voice. Yeah. So I want to just make all the music, and I don't want to feel like I have to be anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like make whatever comes to me and feels good and feels natural. That's what I want to do.
You're nailing that part. So
Absolutely. Do you collaborate with different people, or do you have the same producer? Your videos,
I do.
Y'all have to go to YouTube.
Yes.
Adam Mack, like your videos are great. Like who does all that?
So the boys over at Midtown Motion is the name of their company. I have been friends with them long before any of us had any kind of breaks in the music industry. We actually worked in property management together, and
Stop it.
don't get
what I
Wes
do.
started.
no way.
Yeah, how much were you charging per square foot? Let's talk about new development in Nashville. This turned quickly.
Yeah,
did?
so I did. Yeah.
Stop it. Okay.
I worked for Evergreen Real Estate.
Sure.
Before when it was property management, and so we all worked together. And we all knew that we wanted to be doing music. We just didn't know the path to get there. And they just like YouTube taught themselves how to do photography and videography and editing. And they now all work on the road with huge names. And they also still work with me and do all of my music videos. They've done everything from my very first one, Black and White, to Disco Cowboy. So everything you've seen has been our kind of just like love children that we've thought up together. And you can also just see the progression of skill level.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can tell they're getting better too.
Yeah, for sure. Which I love.
Yes.
Like some people are like, "Oh, I want to get rid of all of my old stuff because I don't want that to be out there and people to be able to see the stuff that is not as good as what you're making now."
yeah.
You know what I mean? But I like it. I like to have the whole journey. Like, although some of
Amen.
my first songs that I release can feel a little cringy as far as like voice production, things like that. It still just shows the journey. Like
Yeah.
you can look at that and then you can listen to Disco Cowboy and see like, oh, look at the growth.
Yeah.
So I've always collaborated with them for videos. I have almost always used the same producer, Nathan Kogan, on everything except for my next single that's coming out. And so him and I just have a really great relationship. We've grown together as well, and just kind of learned from each other. It's also important to feel comfortable with who's creating a lot of the music with you, because I had to learn how to say like, no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be hard because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings.
Or you don't want to lose an opportunity. In this town, so many people are formed by what their management wants to do, or the producer, and they're not truly authentically themselves. So it's really important to have a good working relationship.
So important. So that's why Nathan and I still work together a lot, because we're able to be honest with each other. And if I don't like something, then I don't feel weird or bad to say like, no, I don't want it to sound like that. He's also one of the most brilliant people I know. He has like perfect pitch and can name any note that I'm singing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to need you to tell me like what word was I saying, because I don't know what the C was in that line. So in the studio, it's a lot of, even with Disco Cowboy, it was a lot of me just singing things that I wanted it to be, because I had no clue what to call it or what like the real terminology was. So I'd be like, I just want it to sound like, you know what I mean? Like just shit like that. And he's like, okay, well, let me teach you what that's called. And so we've just learned together and grown together, and I love him.
How do you? There are times where I forget what I had for lunch the
Yeah,
previous
most
day.
often.
And you
Same.
can just bust out like 93 songs. And do you ever have stage fright? Do you ever forget words? Like that would be my biggest fear of like, you know, is just forgetting the words. But how do you practice?
I often forget things too. So I have a very strict rule of no drinking before shows or really during shows. Like I just forgot words actually at a show that I did at Lipstick Lounge. like 2 weeks ago. It was actually the day that my video premiered on CMT. They were having a show there, and we wanted to do just like a video release party and like project the video on the screen, and I was just going to show up and do the video and introduce the video, and that was going to be the thing. So I had a bottle of champagne and maybe some tequila and things prior to
called lunch.
Yeah, I had a little lunchy.
Yep.
And so then like an hour before the show, they called and they were like, we just had someone cancel. Can you just fill in and do their set and play their set? And I was like, well, I'm a little drunk. And I don't normally do this, but I'm already going to be there, so I guess I have to. And I fully blanked on my new single that is not out yet. I just fully forgot the whole verse, and I was just like...
That's when you look at the crowd like, what's up, Nashville?
I literally was just like, I hollered at my boyfriend, and I was like,
I love you.
I need help. And he ran over with my phone, and I pulled up the lyrics, and I was like, okay. And I warned everyone beforehand that I was a little intoxicated, that I don't normally perform while drinking. So this was a risk that we took, and I just had to grab my phone and refresh my memory.
Philip alluded to this earlier, but where did you get the people for your videos? I remember looking or watching the Disco Cowboy, and Black and White too. I'm like, oh, there's Lance.
Yeah,
I didn't know we had friends in common. I'm like, oh my God, Lance, and he knows out. Do you know Allison? Allie's on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, what a small world.
Love her.
And I'm like, well, Lance is in here. I was like, where do we sign up? How do we?
Next one. I've got you on
God.
the next one.
Oh my
Perfect.
God.
Honestly, I am very fortunate that I have a lot of friends from back home. Probably like 10 to 15 friends from back home that I'm still super close with, and we try to get together like every month or so. And anytime I have a music video, they are always down to be video vixens. And then just other friends in town and stuff like that. So everybody.
Yeah, put us on that list.
Everybody,
let's do it.
Yeah, I would love nothing more.
I want to be a video vixen.
So-
I don't have to crawl across a car, but I would.
But would you?
Yes, of course. I have the outfit.
Okay.
And speaking of fantasy, here's my question, and it's getting dark. One of my fantasies is to be lowered into Bridgestone in a disco ball that opens up, and then I'm on a cream chase lounge. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but I'm assuming you have a fantasy performance that you've thought about. What is your I want to do this. What is yours?
So mine is that when I am performing on the CMAs next year, because Disco Cowboy is a #1 on the charts, I want the performance to start as the cover to Disco Cowboy, that drawing that I have with the disco ball and stuff. I want to be wearing the same suit and have the disco ball in my hand and have the disco ball raise up out of my hand, and then the performance start. But I want to recreate that tarot card image as the beginning of the performance.
And I love how you're putting this into the universe.
It's gonna happen.
When I am, and I'm like, he was on our show.
Yeah.
We know
I'm going to have people over. I'm going to be like, I'm going to tell you what he's going to do before he does it, because I'm the one that asked them.
Because we thought about this together.
I planned the whole thing. He took my disco ball idea. And
We have his watch party. We're
Right.
like, he was on the show.
I'll probably be here for it, honestly.
What do you want to promote? What's coming up? When's the new album? All that good stuff.
So right now we're really just riding high on Disco Cowboy. It is currently on the CMT 12-pack countdown, and last week it debuted at #2.
Yes.
Wait, what if
Going
we just
to number
let
one.
me just
could
see.
we check and
Let's
just make
see.
sure
Let's see if
you were at #2?
Let's see if they've posted anything.
We're live.
Yeah.
Checking this live right now. Adam's on his phone.
Let's see. Please say it's so. Let me go to Twitter.
Cody Allen. We need to call Cody Allen.
I'll call
He's
him
on-
right now.
Say, hey Cody, can you
was-
just give us the inside tea?
We're going to need to know before it's published.
Well, it's not published yet, but we are really trying to snatch that #1 spot this week.
You're going to get it. You're going to get it.
happen.
Yeah.
Make
Yes,
it.
we
Will
can.
it to be so?
Yes.
That's what we're all about. positive minds, positive thinking. Say it, and it will be.
Yes.
And
Yes,
that's
there we
what-
go.
That's what
So you
we're
got a
doing.
new single coming out soon, the album to
Yes.
follow.
Yes,
How do people
yes.
find you?
Yeah, so Adam Mac Music on all of the social media things. I am playing at Lipstick Lounge is having a 20-year anniversary on
20 years.
October. I know, wild,
I know,
right?
it's crazy. I love
I think it's October 8th.
Do you want to grab
it's a
drinks before
Saturday.
that, Adam? Or?
Yeah. Want to? Wait,
We'll do a bottle.
no. Look what you're trying to do to me.
I'll bring a bottle of champagne and we'll do a shot of tequila.
No.
I'll take your set. It's fine.
No, so we won't do that. But after my set, we
Gotcha.
will. So it's actually they're doing a block party, and it's gonna be a bunch of us. Shelley Fairchild, who is like
phenomenal.
like my favorite voice in town, is Shelley Fairchild. I'm completely obsessed with her. We are like positive that we were separated at birth. We're like the same human. And so it'll be a lot of us, full band show, October 8th. Y'all can come out and see me. I'll be playing the new single, Disco Cowboy, some other fun stuff. Otherwise, Adam Mac Music on all the things, and more music's coming.
So excited for it.
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Well, we want to say thank you
Oh my
for
gosh.
taking time out.
Thank
you're,
you.
You're a famous man now with a soon-to-be number one on CMT. I mean, this is huge for you, and I'm so excited. I appreciate your time.
Love
It's
you
been
guys.
an
Thank you
absolute
for having
pleasure.
me.
I love you. This is your energy is just woo.
I love it.
It's amazing.
I love it.
Going places.
You know what? Let's go to the disco, Cowboy.
Let's go to disco. See you next time, Phil.
All right, babe. Love you.
Love you, babe.
Hey there, good looking. I've been catching how you're looking over. That guilty smile, turn away before you lose composure. Afraid your friends, they just won't understand. But that don't make you less of a man. Meet me outside and see you never had a thought like this. Your hands are shaking as you try to light my cigarette. Walk down this alley, take a dive if you dare. Do you feel the thrill in the